Today, Amy, who is our presenter, is the author of a book. It's called From Burnout to Bliss, the 21-day plan to boost health, wealth, and happiness. She helps leaders and business owners feel healthy and happy while achieving greater impact and income. Google searches for the word anxiety. If you go and search, that has increased by over 300% since 2004. People are searching that word, anxiety. Leaders are feeling the pressure of the responsibility that comes with service. They're committed to serving with excellence and also crave time for themselves. In this presentation today, Amy will share keys to grow your impact and wealth without sacrificing your own well-being. The title, 3 Keys to Attain Wealth and Well-Being. Please put your hands together and welcome our presenter, Amy Englemark.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Someone want to give me a thumbs up? Yes. Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to present for you today and share. And I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to share a very personal experience from a very painful time in business so that you can learn from some mistakes that I made where I actually kept income out and caused completely unnecessary stress for myself. So grab a pen and paper and bring an open mind as I share with you my story, which is quite a vulnerable story of when I walked through the valley of in-between, is what I call it. This will be very beneficial for you if you are currently using your speaking skills to bring in your primary income or your secondary income, or you'd like to use your skills that you've learned in Toastmasters to bring in the bread and butter, make a great meaningful impact in the world without sacrificing your soul on that altar of success. So it's a strong memory I have of this time in business where, I would have fluctuations in my income and they weren't very impactful to our family. I've got 2 teenage boys and a husband, and I didn't feel the hit of those financial fluctuations. They would just come and go. I would learn from them over the last 12 years in business. And then there was one season where things got really tough. And that's what I want to share with you today, so you can walk away with keys to maintain your joy, because I wasn't great at it when I was really in the thick of it, and maintain your calmness so that you can make it through those times when things seem really tough. So I'd like you to put your hand up in the chat, or just drop a yes if you can relate to a season in your life, when in your professional life especially, or maybe when you just experienced such a loss of joy and sense of hopefulness. So if you can relate, let me know, because I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. I see lots of hands. All right, so we all know that some stress is beneficial, but too much of it hurts our income producing capability, and our bank account shows that. And that's pretty nerve-wracking. Too much stress, we also know, dampens our joy. Now, in my line of work, when I'm working with leaders and business owners and healthcare providers, stress plays a big role in decreasing my clients and my executive functioning. We know that when we're dealing with too much stress, we're not able to think clearly, right? How would anyone else? Does your ability to come up with creative solutions just fly out the window, or are you able to stay focused? Does your ability to stay energized, are you able to stay energized? Or when you're dealing with too much stress, what happens? I know for myself, I get really tired. So there's this sweet spot when it comes to the amount of stress that's in our lives. And when too much is allowed in, we're not able to stay engaged. We're not productive at work. We're not solving people's problems. We're not enjoying ourselves. And if we're not enjoying ourselves, that can be felt by the people around us, our customers, our clients, our friends and family. Everyone will pay the cost if you don't maintain your joy and energy and you're not making the impact you want through your work. So let me share with you my story and the first key I want to give you on this journey with me. We're going to walk through that valley of in between that I walked through. The first key is boundaries. So I'm going to share with you how I kept joy and money out. Now, there came a time where it was springtime, literal springtime in my life and in my business. And my clientele started dropping off, and I really wasn't sure why. And so I started telling myself these stories. They sounded like this. Well, people don't want to build business and they don't have creative projects that they want help to actionize. And they're not looking to maintain balance and stay energized and joyful in their professional lives. They're not looking for my help over the summer. They're wanting to spend time with their family, right? So I was trying to rationalize, even though I didn't know it at the time, why I wasn't building business, why income wasn't coming in. And I was trying to make myself feel better about the fact that I wasn't happy. I was trying to ignore the fact that I didn't like my current circumstances. And those stories that I was telling myself started making me anxious, fearful. Oh, great. Well, what are we going to do for income when I'm the primary income earner in our family? And what are our children going to do? I started freaking out. Ever been in that situation where financially you start telling yourself a story? I want you to put that in the chat if you can relate to this point where you've had a freak out moment in your life or you felt really frustrated when it comes to your finances, like, why can't I hit that next financial goal? Why can't I figure out what to do? Let me know if you were there. So I want to give you this key. How does boundaries help you maintain or increase your wealth and your well-being at the same time? When I was thinking those thoughts that made me feel overwhelmed and fearful and doubtful, like, can I ever change this situation, or should I just settle for it and handle this situation that is making me mad? Boundaries helped me because I realized that there was a seed of direction within the emotions. I don't know if you were just listening to Kim Christensen or not, but she's from our club as well. And she was presenting on overcoming procrastination and talking about how there's wisdom in our emotions to help us make new decisions. So if you're experiencing any kind of anxiety right now or overwhelm, fearful, doubtful thoughts, pay attention to those because they're showing you what needs to change. We know from research that input up here equals output. So we need to be the master of our thoughts. Write that down in the chat. Someone write down, master your thoughts. Someone write that down, master your thoughts. If we don't master our thoughts and we don't set boundaries within our thinking, then we just believe everything we think, any thought that enters our mind that maybe we heard someone say, or maybe society has taught us to believe. And then we become hopeless and we become doubtful and fearful. And it actually stops us from being in service, which is what we know is the very thing that will produce greater income, and it will produce joy inside because we're being of help. We're helping to solve other people's problems. So you can set boundaries, and you need to set boundaries if you're to make the income and the impact that you want and stay joyful. What I would like you to write in the chat now is, what have I been allowing in? What kind of thoughts have I been allowing in that have hurt me? So the primary emotion that you might be feeling, if lately it's been feeling, you've been feeling apathetic, what kind of thought would make me feel apathetic? Write that down in the chat, or write it down in your notebook so that you can review it later, because this is like gold to help you transform your external circumstances. I needed to stop myself from focusing on my need, where I was telling myself, hey, I'm lacking money. What am I going to do about this? Oh man, I'm afraid now. I needed to stop thinking that way. And I needed to ask myself, hey, if I don't take responsibility here and I stop thinking thoughts that are causing me pain, then I'm going to end up with a result in my professional life and emotionally that isn't helping me, and it's not helping me help others. So what am I allowing in here? This is a question for you. What am I allowing in here that's hurting me? And what do I want to replace that with that would help me create the outcome that I want in my professional life? Ask yourself that question. Boundaries was the key to help me stop filling myself with fear, doubt, and anxiety, and start filling myself with faith, belief, trust, expectancy. Oops, sorry. So this is what it felt like. This was the valley of in between before anything changed. And my thoughts were what created the darkness. They blinded me from, just like sunglasses, they blinded me from being able to see that I always have opportunity around me. There's always an opportunity to serve others and therefore be rewarded financially. There's always a reason to be joyful. But when you're wearing these glasses because of the thoughts that you're thinking, then you're limited in what kind of financial resources and meaning you can make in the world and joy you can experience. Because all of these clouds here, they're making it hard to see that you never stopped having an opportunity to serve and make a difference. If you look at your current circumstances, you are often going to be depleted of hope, and you'll be depleted of joy and depleted of energy. But when you create from the inside out, that's when things start to change. When you say, I'm not going to settle for those thoughts that are making me feel that way anymore. The second key I want to give you is focus. So I listened to a podcast when I was in the middle of about a 3-month period of this valley of in between, this painful experience. And maybe you can relate to this, and maybe it's not a financial pain you're in right now, but it's more of a, feeling like half alive and you're just moving forward and you're okay, but you're not truly happy and filled with joy and making the impact you want. So the second key will really help you. Focus is what I used when I found out through that podcast that I was listening to, which created a breakthrough for me, that if I don't change my thinking, then my RAS, and you all have one, the reticular activating system up here in our brains, is going to keep showing me things I don't want to see. So before, remember, I was thinking thoughts like, I can't change my future. I just have to wait for 3 more months until the fall when people are ready to start working on their businesses, making a great impact, doing big things in the world. When they're ready to start working on themselves and get their energy and joy back. I'll wait till the fall. And my reticular activating system said, oh, look, let me give you proof that everything you're thinking is true. Your reticular activating system starts proving to you that what you're thinking is true. And so the whole basis for the law of attraction actually isn't airy-fairy. There's science behind it. What you want, you can create if you remember that you actually have power to change. And you do. So it's up to you, my friends, who are in this room with me. It's up to you to change your focus so that your reticular activating system can support what you're thinking, and it can filter out every other thing so that you're not looking at those things, and give you evidence that what you believe is true and that you are in control and can then therefore take responsibility and align your actions with a new outcome. So what I'd like you to do right now is in the chat, I'd like you to write down, what would you like more of? What is that more for you? Is it you want to make more meaningful impact in your work? Do you want to make a substantial income through speaking? Do you want to build out a secondary speaking business? Do you want to have fun and make the income you want at the same time? Do you want to have more joy in your life? So write that in the chat and try and be as specific as possible. What we focus on grows. And someone else who was just speaking was talking about seeds. And the seeds that you planted last season are the crop that you are reaping right now. So ask yourself, what thoughts would I need to think to create the outcome that I just wrote in the chat? That's your job, to take responsibility for now creating a new thought pattern so that your reticular activating system can support that new thought. And you can now reap a new harvest, a new result, a new financial reality and emotional reality, and the lifestyle you want to be living. Any questions about this at the end, I'm happy to take them. So now you've written down what you want, and your RAS is you're priming your RAS to help you get there. The third key I want to share with you that I learned on that journey was this whole focus on where I felt like I was lacking at the time and caused me so much pain. What it did was it drew all of my focus in so that I was looking at myself, and I forgot that in order to be rewarded financially, of course we need to look out. I mean, who hears me on this point? We need to be looking out and seeing what other people need. So I was able to stop looking at myself and feeling bad for myself and having a pity party and start looking outward. So the third key for you to create greater levels of wealth and well-being is service. Be so obsessively preoccupied, my friend, with solving other people's problems that you have no time to fear or doubt yourself. You have no time to wait and procrastinate. You just throw all the energy of your belief on trust that they're out there, they're waiting for you, they want your solution, they want your creative ideas. How you serve, the level of your creativity that you give out, can be measured in the income you receive. So how creative are you being right now at solving other people's problems? That will determine your bank account. How much love are you showing towards others? That will up your personal joy factor. When we're in service, we're filled with joy. And we can maintain our personal well-being and take care of and prioritize our needs at the same time. My encouragement for you is to not wait. Don't wait until you have a great higher education. Don't wait until your daughter is out of school and has left the house. Don't wait until your spouse says, I believe in you. Don't wait for someday. Someday doesn't come. Instead, I want you to follow these 2 steps. I want you to put some time into, because this will help and it will transform everything if you take these steps. Mastering your thoughts, like we talked about today, just noticing them and seeing the opportunity that your emotions are showing you to change your thinking so you can change the results. And then create a unique service strategy. When you try and be like everyone else, it's no fun. You will shine and be so attractive to your customers and your clients if you're a community leader or if you're in business, that they will start seeing you when you show up and you allow your differences to be part of your unique selling strategy. You're going to make such meaning in the world that people won't be able to ignore it. And it will fill you with joy because you won't be trying to be someone else. You'll be being more of yourself. My invitation for you, for those of you who would like one of these spots with me, is to reach out to me and fill out an application form. I'm happy to put it in the chat. Or you can email me. There's my email there, coacha@amyenglemark.com. And I'm more than happy to spend 20 minutes with you or more if we need it and map out your unique service strategy and help you maintain your joy and your calmness if you're in the middle of an in-between season, or if you simply have greater goals for yourself professionally. Thank you so much. And I would love, if we have time, to open up for questions.
We do have some time, Amy, so thank you very much for that. And how about, rather than us reading the chat, if you have a question, perhaps, or a comment, perhaps you could just unmute yourself or raise your real hand, and I can just call you up. Go ahead, Shaquille.
Well, thank you very much, Dorothy. Thank you very much, Amy, for waking us up, shaking us up. My challenge that I'm facing is that if it is something to do for the community, like for a nonprofit or for my mosque or sort of a situation, I can plunge into it, do it. Or if I have to do something for my own personal, like launching a project for financial means, I find that more overwhelming and struggling how to do it actually. How do I resolve an issue like that?
Great question. Okay. So my number one suggestion is to likely, and it's Shaquille, right? Okay. Shaquille, it's likely to dig under the surface of the garden of your mind and your heart, and to ask yourself some pretty honest, vulnerable questions about any kind of judgments you might have towards people who make the income that you'd like to make. Because if we don't approve of who we want to become, then we'll never let ourselves achieve financial goals. I hear so often, Shaquille, that people feel, and I am not free of self-limiting beliefs myself that impact my ability to take action. But one that I've heard so often is it's self-serving to make that level of income, or there's other people in the world who are starving. Why should I have life this good? I'm somehow hurting others when I'm making that income. or bad things will happen to me if I reach that level of success, or that level of success will deplete me, overwhelm me, and I won't have any time left for me or my family. I won't be able to have time for fun and family and make that income. So I'm going to settle for family and personal happiness, even though I'm not really happy. So my suggestion is to do a bit of a deep dive, and this is what I could do on a call with you if you want to set it up, to understand what's under the layers. Because usually we think, oh, Amy, I just need a quick Band-Aid strategy. I just need you to give me an action to, oh, Shaquille says, I don't need a Band-Aid strategy, but a lot of people want Band-Aid strategies. Myself, I have been in that category, thinking, just give me an action I can take. I just probably need to change a habit. Yes, you need to change a habit, but if you don't change your thinking, the habit won't be sustainable, because you won't want to go against your own internal grain.
Amy, if I could just comment on something that a few things I read in the chat, they were more personal things, like more travel, more time with family, more, of that personal stuff. And when I read that, I could really relate to that. And my thought is that if I don't let the other people in my family know that I want time with them, then I'm doing exactly what you're saying. I'm not allowing that into my life. So how would you respond to that?
Okay. Great question. And I wish we had like half an hour. I'd be actually happy to do a follow-up session as a group if anyone's interested privately. So when we don't let good things in, it actually impacts people we love. So if you're not your happiest, happiness precedes success. So there's so much research on this. Sometimes we think success, we need to feel successful before we can be happy. But when we're happier, our marriages are better, we're more successful in our work lives. And so when we keep, and this is what I was talking about in point number 1 on boundaries, if we keep the good out and we deny ourselves joy and we deny ourselves experiences that we know would fill our cup, then everyone misses out, because you're not fully alive and you're not leading the way and going first and showing others what's possible and paving the path so that they can see it's possible too. There's a lot of a boundary inside that might stop you if whoever asked those kind of questions, a boundary that might stop you from making those activities a priority or your needs a priority, is this belief that I either have to have one or the other, but I can't have both. So a question you can ask yourself is, how can I have time for both? Or how can I make both a priority in my life so that I'm not sacrificing one for the other? Ask yourself better questions and you will get better answers. More creative solutions come from creative questioning.
Thank you, Amy. And we are exactly at our time. So please, members and friends, please put your hands together and give Amy a big thank you for being with us today and sharing her wisdom and knowledge and her 3 tips for us, 3 keys. And you can move back to the main room where you'll be able to choose for your next session. Thank you, Amy, very much.
Thank you, Amy. That was wonderful.
Thanks, Amy. Excellent
Thanks,
session.
Amy.